They say it's wise to expect the unexpected. Last year, Typhoon Morakot reminded us that unpredictable weather conditions can cause unprecedented disasters. Apart from the loss of lives, property and infrastructure, the economic cost of the storm was astronomical. The Disaster Recovery Committee estimates that the total loss to forestry, fishing and farming was $880 million. In the latest in our series of reports on the weather forecasting in Taiwan, we learn more about the correct way to understand typhoon warnings.
At the UN meeting on climate change in Copenhagen, it was announced that there were 245 natural disasters around the world from January to November 2009. 224 of those were caused by the weather, and the most dangerous region was Asia. In Taiwan, the cost of weather-related disasters is over $630 million a year, with typhoons and plum rains causing over 90% of that total.
In the last 10 years, typhoon rainfall has clearly increased. In terms of flooding, Typhoon Nari was a very good example. Then there were the Great 8 floods in southern Taiwan, and even landslides are getting more serious. So in general, weather disasters are increasingly affecting us.
Despite the increasing threat, past experience shows us that weather forecasts are either too dramatic or too conservative. Overstated warnings can cut losses, but also waste resources, while understated warnings create the risk that people will be unprepared.
The Central Weather Bureau is the first source of information for disaster prevention. As soon as the Bureau announces the most likely path of a typhoon, the information is immediately sent to the Disaster Response Center. After it gets the weather report, it will put together the areas that are at risk of suffering rock slides or broken bridges, and combine that with the weather report. And in places that may be hit by disaster, organize evacuations or prepare to seal the bridges.
To raise awareness of the danger of landslides and flooding, the Weather Bureau has organized rainfall into 4 categories, from heavy to extreme torrential. But more needs to be done to get people out of the habit of only consulting the most likely path of a typhoon and ignoring the other possible routes.
I hope everyone can use our 70% potential forecast and not use the single path map, which may make people drop their guard. People can take the typhoon's current position and its prediction position in 24 hours and draw a straight line between the two, and people outside the affected areas may become complacent.
After being rocked by the 9/21 earthquake and then pounded by the 8/8 storm, Taiwan is no fit state to be hit by another disaster. Given the nature of the situation, the authorities have a responsibility to monitor the level of a disaster preparedness in potentially dangerous areas and respond appropriately to the latest weather reports. With better preparation and heightened awareness, damage can be reduced to a minimum.